Hi everyone, hope you're well. This seems really weird doing a video like this, having never done any type of videos like this before. Yes, I've posted on X, I've posted on Instagram. You know me as Galextexia. This is the first kind of review video that I've been kind of asked to do. I've been messaged a few times based on my post and my recent purchase from Kink Projects. So I'm sure we've all got our views on Chinese latex. We all know the British designers that are long founded, great quality, great customer service. Chinese latex aims to try and do the same thing, but at a fraction of the price. But does a fraction of the price mean a fraction of the quality? If you ask some people, yes. There have been many horror stories of people buying from China where zips have fallen off, seams have come apart, the latex is thin, the quality is poor, and the customer service is poor. My experience was very different. So I'm just going to share with you my experience, what I've got in the box, and tell you my initial thoughts about it. So this arrived on the 6th of January. I made the order on around the 28th of November. Just try and get the box open there. Maybe a bit earlier, actually, about 19th of November, I made the order. And my first interaction with Kink Projects was really positive. I sent an inquiry through their email. They responded within a couple of hours. And every message that I sent thereafter was at least within 24 hours of a response. The responses were quite direct. They were short, but we'll put that down to language. But overall, I thought the interactions were very friendly. The person on the other end of the emails was helpful in terms of sizing, thickness qualities, delivery times, and even we had a chat around import charges. So you might need to do a bit of research. I did find out. I haven't been stung with an import charge yet. The box is here, so I'm assuming I haven't got one to pay. I think goods from China around about 135 quid do not incur an import charge. So something to think about if you are ordering from Kink Projects. Of course, delivery charges are expensive. Average delivery charge, I think I've found on their website, is about 35 quid to the UK, but I've not been stung with any import charges yet. I might get a letter from FedEx in the next few weeks saying you've got this to pay, which might then, in terms of overall cost, I could have been better maybe getting it from the UK, but we don't know. We'll see what happens. So what have I got in this wonderful box of goodies then? Well, this is something that I've been really curious about for a long time. I've seen lots of people wear these. I am quite a big fan of inflatable latex, so that gives you a little bit of a cue of what's in there. But I couldn't help resist myself in buying a number of sets of latex gloves. Perfect accessory for any suits. My last pair sadly did get a bit of a hole in them. So whilst I was ordering this wonderful item, I thought I'd give the gloves a go. But that's not what we're here for today. I'll do those later. So let me just get rid of that box. And as you can see, we've still got the Christmas mat on the table in my house. Christmas never ends here. So this is the item then. So what on earth is it? Well, on their website, it is labeled under the hard and heavy, or hard and fantastic, I think it is. This is their inflatable ball hood. Something I've been really curious about for quite a while and never really purchased one. The costings of these can be quite expensive, but for around 100 quid, that was including the gloves as well, by the way. So for around 100 quid plus the delivery, I think I paid about 120 quid by the time the conversion was done. I got this ball hood and the 3 pairs of gloves, which included the postage, and so far no import taxes. So on first sight, the quality of the latex does feel quite good. It feels quite sturdy. I did make some adjustments to the various options that you can choose on the website. So I went for a slightly thicker outside. I think it's always good with inflatable items to go thicker on the outside and then a thinner latex on the inside. First thing I would always look for is the quality of the zip. Now, I don't know how well this is going to show up. Of course, this is unshined at the moment, so yeah, it's going to look a little bit dull. Actually, on first inspection, I think the zip quality is pretty good, inside and out. So things that I'd really be looking for, as you can see here, the seam is perfectly laid. It is perfectly straight. Do you know what? I've had items from Cocoon latex in the past. You may have seen my red inflatable suit on the internet. Actually, when you do look at the seams, the cutting of the pattern isn't at its best. It is a little bit wavy, but we know sadly Cocoon closed up after the original owners decided to retire and pass it on to their daughter. But I just don't think potentially her heart was in it. I was grateful to get a suit from Cocoon, but if you can see there, actually the seams around the zip, it's got a zip cover there just to make sure you don't pinch your hair. And if I actually just pull that apart, it's pretty strong. So yeah, so far quite impressed. The zip lays nicely, and in terms of functioning, it zips up really easily. Sometimes with zips, I tend to find just putting a little bit of latex dressing aid on them helps them move freely, but this one doesn't need any help whatsoever. So first impression's quite good. Around the neckline, also looking very good. Both sides actually look quite good. The seams are all laying flat. They've all been cut really straight. Now, I don't know Kink Projects cutting mechanisms, whether they use laser cutters or hand cutters. I'm not too sure, but that is pretty good, I must say. And I've spoken to people in the past that when their items arrive, they said the seams are coming away a little bit, or just at the corners where they've not been stuck down properly. So far, looking good. Up to the valve. This is one question I didn't ask about the valve. Now, if you can see that, it's a little bit blurry. This is a standard kind of valve. I don't know what the proper name is for this one, but I like inflatable items with what I think is called the Dunlop valve. It's like a one-way valve, and you place it inside the hole, you put a cap around it, and using a pump, it will inflate, and when you take it away, it holds the air inside it. So this is an open one. Not too bothered about that. It's a larger inflatable item, so by the time you've got the pump out, only a little bit of air will escape from that, so not too bad. I do have some inflatable mitts, and if you try and pump those up and remove the pump and don't get the cap on fast enough, they go down quite quickly. So loses the experience a little bit. But around the valve, I've kind of seen better, I will be honest. I've seen better laid latex around the valve. I'm not sure if you can see that there, but just some of the latex bleeds over around the sides. Maybe that's intentional for, I don't know, a bit of extra strength maybe. But I must admit, apart from everything else, the valve first sights, that's the one thing I'm kind of worried about, I guess. Not enough to say that it isn't relatively good quality. If I think about the other suits that I've had, I've got inflatable body bags. The valves are generally a little bit neater, but in terms of everything else, that's just going to be something to watch. We'll see what happens with that over the use, and I'm hoping this hood does get quite a bit of use. Now, one thing on their website I wasn't expecting. It didn't say it on their website. How do you breathe inside? Well, that's how you breathe. Looked at this a couple of times. I have tried it on a few times thinking what's going to be the best. So I have tried just one tube in the mouth. That is really, really difficult. You've got 3 air holes here at the top of the hood. These are actually quite well constructed. So 3 air holes from the tubes. Not quite sure how they're connected inside. The tube only goes up to just before the end of the air hole, and then it feels like there's a bit of a more flexible material in there to attach it to the end of the hood. So it might just be a bit of latex that we put around to attach to the hood. But these 3 tubes are the way you breathe. Now, it didn't actually explain this on the website. Best way I've found, and this is not going to be for everybody, you'll notice in that formation, you've got an idea of where these tubes are going to go. 2 in the nostrils, 1 in the mouth. So that can be a little bit uncomfortable. I thought that was going to be really irritating. But you know what? It's not that bad. It's a nice soft rubber tube. It's quite squishy. I did find it a little bit odd to start with, and first wearing it was a bit difficult trying to keep those 2 tubes certainly inside the nostrils for breathing. And I must admit, although I'm pretty good with the latex like this and don't mind having things over my head, just trying to breathe through one tube wasn't great. So yeah, if you want a really good sort of sense of breathing and you like to breathe, it's good to breathe, then all 3 tubes. I have placed all 3 in my mouth. Downside with that is the hood gets very wet inside. Yeah, if you're a salivator, then you're going to get soaked on the inside. Some of you might like that. For me, not particularly bothered. So that in the mouth, those 2 in the nose, can be a little bit fiddly to start with, but once you have got it set, once it's inflated, it does stay in place pretty well. So inside the hood is just a thinner. I think I went for 0.6 on the outside, 0.4 on the inside. I think that was the option that I went for. Like I said earlier, just nice to have a slightly thicker latex on the outside of the hood, adds to that compression on the inside. This is a size medium. It's really baggy. That's the point. You know, I don't know how to even describe the size of this. I guess if you are familiar with Libidex hoods, I often order a medium large with a slightly smaller neck. This is a medium, but it's really, really baggy on the inside. However, the neck fits really nicely. It's got a little bit of restriction around the neck. And so for me, I think I'm a 15-inch around the neck. That actually just adds a little bit of restriction. So probably just under 15 inches, and with the stretch of the latex, it makes a nice, really close fit. So hopefully, to start with, that's been useful to you to see this wonderful little item. Like I say, I have tried it on and given it a bit of a whirl. It does feel really amazing, but I think that's going to have to be for another video. So if you've got any questions, happy to hear them, happy to answer them. Let me know what you think of the video. Thanks, everyone. Take care.